Welcome to Ethiopia today. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate both your engagements and encouragements our followers. Thanks. We always try our best to bring you the most relevant and reliable contents in a compelling way. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bar so that you won't miss any of our exciting videos. Don't be the only one to enjoy the video. Share it with your loved ones too. Don't forget also to check out our collections on description section. Okay, our presentation covers the following topics. Ethiopia chairs meeting of Africa's health ministers in Geneva. Germany will work to restart Ukrainian grain exports to Africa. South Sudan's Kiir backs homegrown remedies to political disputes. The Ethiopian ambassador to Kenya says the Northern Corridor complements LAPSSET. The details are as follow, and we invite you to stay tuned until the end. Ethiopia has chaired the meeting of African Union member state ministers of health held in the margins of the 75th World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, ENA reported. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Health Minister Dr. Leah Tadesse has moderated the session of the Health Ministers of Africa. The meeting, organized by the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, discussed the current status of the COVID-19 pandemic and the way forward in strengthening the commendable work of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and the new public health order. The 75th World Health Assembly kicked off yesterday in Geneva and will continue until the 28th of May 2022. Germany will work to restart Ukrainian grain exports to Africa. Starting a 3-day tour of Africa, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz spoke of the impact of Ukraine's war on the continent. He said Berlin would help restore grain exports from Europe to avoid a worsening food crisis, DW reported. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz on Sunday said, Berlin will actively work to push for the restart of grain exports to Africa from Ukraine that have been halted as a result of Russia's invasion. He also spoke of the need to ensure the steady transfer of fertilizers out of Africa. Scholz was speaking in Dakar ahead of a meeting with Senegalese President Macky Sall at the beginning of a 3-day trip to Africa, his first since taking office 6 months ago. Ahead of Scholz's visit, the former German ambassador to Moscow said Russian President Vladimir Putin is deliberately aiming to trigger a famine in the Middle East and Africa. The Kremlin's goal is to destabilize Europe through a massive refugee influx, Rudiger von Fritsch told Sunday's edition of the Tagesspiegel newspaper. Senegalese president and chairman of the African Union Sall said on his part that Africa wants de-escalation and peace in Ukraine through dialogue. We do not want to be aligned on this conflict. Very clearly, we want peace. Even though we condemn the invasion, we're working for a de-escalation. We're working for a ceasefire. For dialogue. That is the African position, he said. As chairman of the African Union regional grouping, Sall said he would visit Moscow and Kyiv in the coming weeks. The consequences of the war in Ukraine are expected to be a major topic during Scholz's trip. The Russian blockade of Ukrainian grain exports has exacerbated the food crisis on the continent, especially in East Africa, the report added. Scholz also said Germany wants to help Senegal to develop a gas field off the coast of West Africa. We have started exchanging ideas about this, and following these talks we will continue to do so very intensively at the technical level, Scholz said. According to media reports, BP, the operator of the field, believes it holds 425 million cubic meters of natural gas. Sall said Senegal was interested in supplying gas to the European market. Germany also wants to collaborate more with Senegal on solar and wind energy projects, the chancellor said, as well as liquefied natural gas LNG. The move comes as Germany seeks to cut its reliance on Russian energy in the wake of the Ukraine conflict. Senegal plans to start exporting LNG in the fall of 2023, but its current orders are for delivery to Asia. Media reports said it could take several years for the country to ramp up deliveries to help replace Russian gas exports to Europe. Earlier, Sall complained that the global move away from financing fossil fuel projects like natural gas development was harming African nations. Scholz agreed that it was not acceptable for developing countries to be prevented from exploiting their natural resources. Dakar is the first stop on Scholz's trip, before he moves on to Niger in South Africa. South Sudan's Kiir backs homegrown remedies to political disputes. The South Sudan President Salva Kiir has welcomed calls for homegrown solutions to settle disputes in politics as well as the military. The proposal came from Kenya's High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa, Raila Odinga, during last Thursday's inauguration of the Freedom Bridge, a $91 million project funded by Japan's aid arm JICA, Sudan Tribune reported. The advice Odinga, gave us should seriously be taken because of peace. When he shook hands with President Uhuru Kenyatta, differences that existed between them disappeared. Kenya is now in peace, said Kiir. The South Sudanese leader Kiir said the urge for infrastructural development in the young nation prompted his administration to invite the former Kenyan Prime Minister to grace the official launch of the bridge. It is this desire for infrastructural development that we are pleased to have His Excellency Raila Odinga with us today. He is here in his capacity as the High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa, he stressed. For his part, Odinga urged Sudanese leaders to learn how to talk, forgive each other and work towards a better future for the country and its people. He said South Sudan should devise homemade remedies to its problems, while emphasizing that the East African country is bigger than individuals. He cited Kenya's post-election violence in 2007, in which his supporters rejected the presidential election results, but the matter was amicably resolved by the country's political leaders for peace and stability to prevail. We had a problem, and no country in Africa does not have problems. There were problems in Kenya in 2007. Many people were killed during disruptions following the disputed election in 2007, Raila said on Thursday. He added, "We said we had homegrown solutions to our problems, shook hands together with Uhuru Kenyatta that brought peace in the country." Raila, a likely presidential candidate in the August polls, urged South Sudanese to seek homemade approaches to problems, saying such remedies are neither in Addis Ababa, Kampala and Nairobi nor Khartoum. "I want you people to talk as brothers and let the guns go to the barracks, and you have to be protected by civilian police. If you guys do this, nothing can stop us in this region of East Africa from achieving proper integration of this reunion and realizing the dreams of the founding fathers of this country," he stressed. South Sudan gained independence from Sudan in 2011, but descended into violence in 2013 after the leaders failed to agree on democratic and institutional reforms. The leaders signed the peace agreement in 2015 to end the conflict, but the violence resumed in 2016, putting the country on the path of anarchy. The deal was revitalized in 2018, allowing the leaders to participate in the coalition government expected to champion reforms and lead the country to elections at the end of the transitional period. Despite the agreement, relations between Kiir and his first deputy Riek Machar have never been smooth and cordial, causing stalemates in the implementation of key provisions of the accord, Sudan Tribune said. Northern Corridor Complements LAPSSET, Ambassador Melis says. The Northern Corridor that is adjacent to Lamu Port, South Sudan, Ethiopia transport LAPSSET complements the latter, while providing southern Ethiopia with more port options in the region, Ambassador Melis Alam said. A delegation headed by Ethiopian ambassador to Kenya, Melis Alam, and representatives of the governments of Kenya and South Sudan paid a scoping mission to the Northern Corridor Transit and Transport Coordination Authority and other infrastructures from May 17 to 21, 2022. In the same token, the team visited the Kenya Port Authority (KPA) and other port charter stakeholders at the Port of Mombasa. Ambassador Melis noted that KPA needs to promote the Port of Mombasa in Ethiopian market, as it is a landlocked yet most populous country in the region. Ethiopia and Kenya have jointly inaugurated the Moyale one-stop border post, the Moyale-Hawassa Highway, the first 3 berths of Lamu Port that are part and parcel of LAPSSET, he said, adding that KPA needs to further expedite the untapped Ethiopian market. KPA should venture into Ethiopia following in the footsteps of Safaricom plc, KCB, and Equity Banks, and KenGen, the ambassador stated, and underscored a country as big as Ethiopia will use both Lamu and Mombasa ports to serve its people in the south. Representative of the managing director of KPA, Sudi Mwasanego, who is general manager of cargo operations on his part, noted that the port of Mombasa is not only important to Kenya but also to the region. A presentation on port facilities, the KPA master plan, port expansion programs, and the Mombasa Specialized Economic Zone says and beyond was presented to the visitors. The ports of Mombasa and Lamu are not competitive, rather complement each other, Mwasanego said, and reiterated the need for leveraging the Ethiopian market. Here's the end of our presentation. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bar so that you won't miss any of our exciting videos. Don't be the only one to enjoy the video. Share it with your loved ones too. Don't forget also to check out our collections on description section. May God bless Africa and its people. Many thanks.